one eye, a single eye camera that captures outward. The one camera, the one eye, the one mouth captures outwards. Our breath, as we blow out, goes up our nose. And I breathe out, goes past my mouth. Always crisscrossing each other, not like the pig. Pig, it's straight across. Its jowl is pointed in. Not the same thing. I wanted to talk about something so little basic, something else to just maybe look at. Just got to be careful. There's no wet on this. Is my paintbrush and this element here. See how it's made round to clean it off? Is this part the moon and this part the half a moon? The moon and the quarter moon coming together. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. The moon disappears. It's at its greatest distance. It's at its greatest distance. See the way it covers one eye in the middle of my nose? And then when it doesn't, it blocks an eye. And it opens an eye, and it blocks an eye. 1, 2. So if there was one on this side, one would be going like this. And then on this side, it would be going like this. So 1 and 1 makes this 1 quarter turn and 1 quarter turn. Notice the way the center is being overlapped. This one reaches only to the center. But when you move it, see this is on this side. See the way it's in the center? You see this part? It's on the bottom here. Now it's on the top, but it's still on this side. So it's always this side and that side. They link together through this source here and the overlapping of these two pieces where they are. Just an element of thought. I sent the message to myself on Messenger and I never got it. I sent another one to myself and I never got it. A couple hours later, it showed up and then I can't find it again. It's very weird. I sort of need that. Let's not say secretary anymore. We're not going to say secretary and we're not going to say nurse. We're going to replace the two words. It's the coordinator. It's the company coordinator. Let me speak with the person in the company coordination department. Where is she? She's at the front desk. She answers all the phone calls and she sees all the customers that come in. Can I help you, sir? And behind her is the crew. And she says to the crew, I need this, that, and the other thing. You know what? I'll go get it myself, but I don't know where it is because you all classified it. So if I would have classified it myself, I'd lose time. So I'll send it to you. You classify it in a system that we all learn, and then we can all go in when somebody's missing to go pick up that classification. Although someone might be waiting while I'm doing this job, this is how we overlap. In the meantime, relax, because it's all about relaxing. To do the job right, you need a little relaxing. So I'm going to go back in. I need paint. I need yellow paint. I'm not sure if I should send somebody out to get me paint. I have to wait for tomorrow. You know, I just waiting for tomorrow. How do you do something today when you need to wait for tomorrow? What if you need to do something right now, but you can't do it today because you don't have the piece or the part? What happens if you have to go somewhere and the only vehicle is your legs? So until you feel like starting to make the walk, you won't be going anywhere. And the walk begins with your first choice. There are just so many things, and I did part of this in my last video, but I'm going to do it in my beginning of this video. I'm only going to be here a couple of minutes. I'm busy painting right now, so let me do this right here, right now, real quick. It's shapes and designs. This design is the hexagon. This is the octagon. This is a 6, and this is an 8. Your diamonds at work. Yeah, your diamonds at work. Let me go out. Somebody put down this paint down here. And your diamonds at work. Hold on a second. Diamonds at work. So first off, we'd have to dissect the diamond queen. We dissect the diamond queen because all the queens have two eyes. There's a whole design in here telling a story. I don't know what the story is. And this can be the water traveling through the above and below. The above and below, we need the zero, the big O. What if it's a small o? What if it's just the alphabet O? What is the oval of the alphabet O versus the difference to where this is high up? Is there a difference between those two that is being stretched? This can be just a walkway or an elevator through a gateway or a door, maybe for the handicap room. I don't know. So we're going to look in here and see if we can find a diamond. So we found the diamond 8 and the diamond 8 and the diamond 9. Whoa. So we have the 8 and the 9. So you see the placement of these diamonds? They're telling us this one over here, okay, next to each other, okay, is showing us this the 10 card. You see the 10 card versus the 8 where there's separation. This is the 10 card right over here. Sorry, no. I didn't do that. Yes, sorry, I did it sideways. This is the 10 card. See where it says 88? That's the 10 card. The 8 card, let me hold it up the other way so I don't have to hold the book and I can have one camera with one hand instead of okay. Here is the 8 card. See the way we're separated? The 8 card is separated. The 10 card is not separated. So here's your 10 card, and here is your 8. See the way they're together here? See the way they're touching here? Excuse me. So 10 equals this, and this is your hexagon. Hexagon 10. And this is your octagon 8. Telling the true story. 10 gets reduced into 6 over here. And then in this, we end up creating new designs out of this. We can create the new design either with these 2 dots, or because of the size, we can complete them to the same size. And then we complete them to the same size. And this would be now our levels: 1 level, 2 level, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 levels in this link. 8 levels. 8 levels by, understand what's going on, that we need to use both of these over here. And the reason we need both is because of skip one, both in the center 2. This is the divide. And in order to connect the above and below, just like the beaver hole, we need the above and below, and it's over here. So we need, although 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, over here we need 2 by 2, which makes 080. And now, should it be 2 areas that I use up? Should it be a square, or should I be doing it like this? And this is how we have that separation. The separation over here can be done in singles. If you made the first box first, you would absolutely see by obligation that you would have all one singular boxes, because going up and going down plus the line that divides will create all your singular boxes, telling you these plug-in. You see this plug-in? This is home plate, home plate, home plate, home plate. Where's first, second, third base? Where's home plate? 8 above, 8 below, 808. And I'm not sure if we have it on these Joker cards. All right, and I hope I didn't take out the Joker cards. No, they're not here. So I need more cards. More cards, more cards. I need to get my camera held up by itself. But anyways, just let that be as it is. How is everybody? So this is the story between. So the diamonds are telling a story. All our sports balls, whether it's a football, whether it's a basketball, whether it's a baseball, all have to have folds. The baseball is 88. See, I categorize things by tearing things apart and looking at really what doesn't make a difference in life other than the connections. Let me pick up all these cards. I need a can of paint. I do not want to go out of the house. I need to find colors. No one's open. Sunday. Imagine Sunday, and a lot of places are closed. What's wrong and what's right? What is the truth? How do we let one company, how is it possible that one company who owns everything, owns absolutely everything? Imagine if you lived in a village and you never left the village, and the TV would come from the village, and whoever owns the village is the one that puts the stuff on the TV, and the news is from the village, and all the broadcasters live in the village, and they're all paid by one place, and they're all told what to do by 5 or 6 different people. That's all we would know. We would know only that, and the difference of how come this and that doesn't make sense. We have to ask questions. What makes sense? We shouldn't be having one pin is holding 1,700 million people. One pin. We are shut down because of one pin. And do you want me to tell you one thing? Is it possible that those that are holding us at bay, those who are holding us at bay, is a friend of yours? A friend of somebody out here. I bet you if I had a big enough audience that I can connect to a friend that knows somebody of those people who are reporting all those not abiding by the rule, not by the rule of law, by just the rule of demand. The rule of demand. Imagine if I had a million people that knew a million people that knew a million people. Do you know how fast that would spread? To where all those who are, you know what an almond is? If you look up almond as amand, which is get a ticket to the show. You know what I'm saying? When the polar ice give you a ticket for the show because you're not abiding by the polar rule. If all these were on our side, we can just step out tomorrow and say, forget it. If you want to stay home and you believe in this, that's fine. You believe in, but the whole thing is, the people were shown to become polarized, captive, believing, frozen in space because not sure who to believe. And when you don't believe the right side, the other side tilts. And then you have persuasion from those who, imagine somebody who highly believes, knock, knock, knock on your door. It's, I want to know. I go up. Jehovah, up I go, it says. Believe me what I tell you. Believe you what. And eventually some people will believe. But imagine who those we believe are holding us at bay. Otherwise, if they don't hold us at bay and do their job to polarize us, they have no food to feed. So you know what? If you don't have food to feed your family, I wish I can start a PayPal for all those polarizers who are writing out the ticket to the show, driving in their black and whites, okay, right? Driving in their black and whites, writing a ticket out to the show because you're not abiding by the rule. You're polarized. If we can have an association that we can pay their food and their rent just so they make it by, because if they don't follow the rule, they're going to be laid off because you're not following the rule. And enough of them get laid off, there won't be anybody to hold you back, because everybody now knows the polarization of the truth of law is when you hear the news, but you can't understand why it's hard to believe when others are saying different, because you haven't listened to the other side, because somebody said the other side. The other side are the bad people. It's always the other side that is the bad people. Isn't that funny? It's the other guy's fault. It's the other guy's fault. It's her fault. How can they say it's her fault and the other guy's fault? It's their fault. Why is it the other guy? Communication network separated into divide. Communication network. If you got your ears on, how many bars do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, you need the top bar to connect here, right? Here's our pools. 6, 6, 6. I don't need this one over here because it's DC. It's 4 and 3, work 3 and 4. This makes a whole section. You remember your heart is on one side, but it's for your whole body. Only takes up one side, can't take up both sides. 7 and 5, the division of your heart. 7 and 5, 3/4. 7 and 5 equaling to the sun. 7 and 5 equaling to the earth and the moon. Where do I get these numbers from? Why am I talking about it? The number to the heart is number 25. The same numeric value stands for earth. They call it the blue earth, which is 40 and 25 added together equals to 1 times 5, 1 plus 5, equaling to Mars, equaling to Beta Communication Enterprises, Bell Canada, which is communication, which means under the ground, because that's where all the wires were passed. This is what my mind was taught. So we have BCE, and I forget what I was talking about because I went to explain too much. I have to refrain from doing this. Stores well, they used to all be open, but now some of them are not. Stores are open, stores are closed. I have to continue on with my thought. Yes, the 5 and 7 from the heart, the levels of going up. The pitchfork. Stick one in here. You stick one in here and one in here, and the pitchfork comes down and it goes up this way and up this way, and then one only a shorter one, because the shorter one is connecting right over here, and then it's feeding to these two over here, passing over these waters and over this waters, the curvature on the inside of the pools. Although these pools being round of 3 still equals to 4 because the corners are cut out. But when you have straight lines crossing through this, you have to count this as 4, and you can't count it as 3, and you can't count it as 2 because it's too wide and too high, which creates your 4. It's an obligation. Let me tell you what the obligations. The sea of the shining sea. You know, if I showed it to you this way, it would look like a 0. But if I showed it to you this way, you can see the gap inside for the sea. Maybe that's what it is, the open and closed gap. So I was talking about number 25, talking about number 75, and 75 and 45, they can come together. They're like almost the same. Hello, I'm 75, I'm 45, yeah. I'm 75% of that minute. Oh, you're 45 seconds. That's right. I'm 75% of that minute. I'm 45 seconds. I am the foxhole passage in the sun. Oh, what's missing? Oh, just 15 seconds. You mean 1/4? Yeah, 15. Yo, why 25 and 1, 5, 15? Yo, 15 and 45 is 60. So what do you mean you're missing? You're missing from well, 45, in order to make a hole, you make a hole. In order to make that hole, okay, create, you bring this side together 3/4, and you bring this side together 1/4, and then you make the O. First you had the C, and then you had a little line, a curved line, a comma came together, made the O, CO, come together. 15 and 45. Part of the sun, part of the moon, they come together or overlap somehow. Somehow there's a pipe connected like a design I have on my first robe there. So how does 45 come? Hi, I'm 3/4. Yes, you are. Well, hello, I'm 15, and well, I'm 3/4 of 60 equals to 15, and the 45 is the balance. So that's your sun, that's your Mars. This 3/4, okay, the 1/4 that is missing plus 3/4 equals to a whole. When you connect the 3/4 to the 1/4, you have closed up that hole. And spin this inside that, you keep opening up and closing it, opening up and closing it. And this one spins and this one spins. I'm just thinking. But 1/4, that's 1/4, is also 1/4 of 75. Or 1/4 equals to 15. Sorry, let's forget about this one. 25% of 100 and 15 seconds are both valued at 1/4. 1/4 equals to 25. This represents the DNA. It also is part of what's creation of our day. 3/4 represents the moon because it represents the number 75 as well as 45 or 4557, which is the sun foxhole passage in the moon. 5, 4, 4, 7, if you want to look at it that way. Jesus Christ of time of the sun, space, time, STE, 44, teen, 44. In here, it's S-teen. So this is what comes together. 57 would be your moon. And we want to talk prime now. We want to talk prime. We have to return to levels. To levels of part of creation. Give me any prime number divided in 2. Tell me a different story. 19 divided by 2 is now 95. It's no longer prime. Because 19 times 5 equals 95. So it's no longer prime. Double it up. Well, obviously it's not prime, but cut any prime number in half. 3 is prime. Cut it in half. It becomes 15. It becomes 3 times 5. It's electric company. So what is, hold on a second. What is 9, 8, 7? So 7 is prime. Cut it in half. 7 becomes 35. So you have 7 times 5 is your 35. 7 and 5 is your moon. So your number 7 it relates to the 11 craps because it's 3.5. It is a direct fitting to create your roadway through the cities because when you add on 35, 335, take this here. When you take your 3.5 and you add on 7.5, and this would be the moon, and this would be 11 craps. Look it up. This would be your 11 craps, and this would be the moon. This would be your 8 and 3, and that counts for the CH. CH, the church, is what comes into the factor 21 and 18 because of Saturn, skies, and then it becomes the liberty of 55. There's a whole story that goes along with it. If you've been watching my videos long enough, you can connect that story to this. I can't keep going over. I lose my trend of thought. I'm going to lose my trend of thought. Okay, let me finish with this. I'll get on to the integrals in a second. So we did that. We did that. So here we get 10, and then here we get 10. They're both red 10s. Okay, if it was an 8 and a 2, it would be a black 10. It would be a negative. But these are two positives together. And there's ways that these are created. I can also crisscross them. We have to do the whole scenario of the star system. So this one would end up to be 77 to Christ. In one scenario, all zeros equal to 6. We can transmit this into another world where it becomes 11. This and this becomes 11 when we bring it to the number 4. The number 4 is one of these. There's different ways to distinguish what the numbers. I like to run the basis of 147. And I do that because of my telephone, because of equations. When you divide everything by 7, right, it becomes 147258. Order, not order, it doesn't matter. 147258 is that answer. But it's the 1 and 1 that is 2. And it's the 1 and 4 that is 5. And it's the 1 and 7 that is 8. So 1 created 2. And then when you put 1 and 2 together, okay, on each side of 1, where 2 and 1 is 3, where 2 and 4 is 6, where 2 and 7 is 9, where 5 and 1 is 6. 1 and 1 equals 2. 1 and 4 equals 5. 1 and 7 equals 8. Where 2 and 1 equals to 3, where 5 and 1 equals to 6, where 8 and 1 equals to 9. Okay, so we can do it this way. We can also go next level. Okay, the next level is 4 and 2 equals 6. And then we can go 4 and 5 equals 9. And then 4 and 8 equals 12 equals 3. It reverted back into a 3. It passed the 10, but it was a whole word, so I'm not going to add on 6 to it. Leave it as creation and throw it out of the equation. This is your Pluto. This is the sun. This is the cat. And then over here, you would have, what is it? 6 plus 4 equals 10. 9 plus 4 equals 13. 3 plus 4 equals to 7. No, I don't want to do that equation. No, I just wanted to do the last part of this equation, which is 7 and 2, 7 and 5, 7 and 8. And in this equation over here, we end up with 9, we end up with 3, we end up with 6. So this is how the number rotation works, how it's created. And then maybe or maybe not, they shove 1 in the center over here, right? 1, 4, 7 over here. And then over here, they put 2, 5, 8. And then over here, they put 2, 5, 8. And then they put 6, 5, 6. And then they design it this way. This is obligation. This is obligation because this is the way it is. But what I did is I twisted it to the left, twisted it to the right. What's below here would be a 2. What would be over here would be 8. Would be 8. Would be 8. Would be 8. The 2 would be 2, 8 everywhere. That would, sorry, what am I doing? It'd be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it'd be, it would be 7, 8, 9. So it'd be 3, 6, 9 here. Mixed in with it is 2, 5, 8. 1, 4, 7 is whole in its own. Everything else is divided but 5 in this equation, if you can understand it. I have to look it up. Dome of Onks, the integrals. 1 second. Integrals. I have to learn about it to know it, eh? I don't know. Okay, I really don't know anything about integrals. I have to read a little bit more and learn about it, and then I can put it into motion. Obviously, if the mathematics get harder, it's actually telling you what the primary of everything is actually doing in the continuation and the process for change, or the science of change, explaining the science of change. That's one of the reasons we had to come up with more mathematics to create what was actually happening through the mathematics telling the story, which I don't really know too much other than when I sit here and I read and I look and I try to balance it out. And from a layman's point of view, which my mind hasn't been altered, like the Amish, I don't watch TV. XL Roof for me is just a common cold, We have to all stand up and stay home, put the money where the money should go. And for all those who really don't want to work, we should feed them. And for all those who really don't want to work in special domains, I'm only talking about special domain people, those who put us in polarized, those who write us the ticket to ride, right? The ticket to ride. And you don't have to go to a theater, just go out after 8 o'clock at night, or walk into a place with a smile on your face. Walk anywhere with a smile on your face. And if somebody can see it, then you might be doing the right thing. So if these polarizers who step in, and are they stepping in because it's something they believe? Or are they stepping in because they're going to lose their job? Or are they stepping in because it's their ego? Because once you trample over all the balls and all the balls are flat, you are the next to go. The last man standing are those who polarize all of us who are trying to stand up and melt that ice and open up the vision of everybody. Do I talk in parables? Am I telling you the story directly? Of course I am. But in Mr. Tacpan's words, because the internet is filthy. The internet is filthy. It needs a diaper. It needs a clean diaper, needs to be changed all the time. The whole thing is, who is going to be the polarizers? How do we trust this one, and how do you trust this one? This one says it's good, abortion is good. The other one says you're killing somebody. What is the truth? What is the truth? If you knew how we came to this planet and what's really alive, you would know the truth about it, but you don't know nothing. You only know what you believe, what somebody thinks, what somebody heard because of something. But I don't remember ever being born at all. And I probably could if I go deep down and split and get back to that other retention source, but it wouldn't make a difference because I was waiting to come here before I was born. I was sitting in a chair just like this. Let me be born again. But it wasn't happening on planet Earth. It was happening to get to planet Earth. And I have been born again because I was never born before, really. But born again is, we were created, calling it a birth. 29, B and I. 29, 2 times 9 creates 18. So in 18, you have created 2 10s. Where do I come up with this figure? I made it up. The letter B is 2. The letter I is 9. 29 is for your birth. It's not the total letter count, but it represents Venus, and 9 represents birth, so it's birth in Venus. It is 20, which is 2 10s, or they say twins of 10. In 9, 20 and 9, the number system. We're not talking, and is the first 0, 20. It is not 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or 90. And each one of these sections and levels of 10 are completely different from another. Because when you get to the 90s, the 100 is 0 to 9. You're starting at 100 first, 0 to 9. 90, 0 to 9. 80, 0 to 8. 70, 0 to 7. 60, 0 to 6. 50, 0 to 5. 40, 0 to 4. But now, at 40, you're on this side, and you're a complete 10, because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. You're now your first complete 10. Now you have to associate. So what happens to 0, 3, and 30, 0, 2, and 20, 0, 1, and 0, 101? What happens to those numbers? Well, 10 is actually a parent, okay, in almost every number. From 20, 10 is already in it. 10, 10, 10, 10, 20, 30. 10 is 10, and 20 is inside 30. 40, it's 20, 20. There is no 10. But in 40, it's automatically the 10 in 40. The 4 now exists because it doesn't exist on the other side. It exists right away at 50. And it shows it to me on the cube. It's telling me on the cube right away. I got 4 and 1 inside. So that's where my 10 shows up. That's where my 30 shows up over here. My 10 and my 30. My 20 is my division. but it shows up my 20 inside my 5. So 4, 5, and 6, where I don't need the 4 because the 4 is in the 5 and the 6. I only need the 5 and the 6. 50 and 60. 110. Plug me in. 5 and 6, 11. 5 by 6, 30 creation. 5 plus 6, 11 and 30, 41 DNA. Birth of the student. All I got is a dice cube here, a dictionary, a couple of numbers, the alphabet, everything you created. I just find that. Let me read this. I think you'll love them. I probably will love the integrals, or wait a second, basically the area under the parabola. Oh my God, I got to read this stuff. I have such a hard head to put new stuff in. Very, very, very tough. Sometimes I can't get it in right now because I'm missing that can of paint. It's bothering me. Plus, I did something I don't really like. I don't know if you can see it. It's all the way up there. So, GameStop, AMC theaters, right? That's where it is right here. This is the GameStop. This is where the theater is. This is where knock comes in. These are just big words that came out. Some news just makes me laugh. How the minute something happens in one area that, oh my God, we have to stop it. All the little people made a little scratch. Made a little scratch. Made a little scratch. My cat likes to scratch. You made a little scratch. Now you're curious, how can I make some scratch? You hear a sound, you want to go to the sound. You're just like a cat. Just like a cat. Sleep and do nothing. All of a sudden, you're completely interested. Can't take you away. You're just like the cat. Communication, CAT, angle of transmission. Which animal is my heartbeat? Oh, you're a pig. What makes your heart beat? You're a pig. Where was I with these numbers? We had 10 and 01. We had 20 and 02. We had 30 and 03. We had 40 and 04. It's not good. I have to talk and write. You can't look at my face. You have to look at what I'm doing. You have 50 and 05. You have 60 and 06. 70 and 07. 80 and 08. 90 and 09. Now, as we spoke before, in the deck of cards, I shouldn't have put them away. Whoop, dropped one on the floor. I shouldn't have put them away, where I showed you the 10 and I showed you the 8, right? And I showed you this design. At the same time, these two show me a 44 and a 44 outside, 44 inside, 44 outside. This is a whole 44, okay? This will get connected by this white X. Do you see the white X here? There's a white X. Only look at the white X. Only look at the white X. That's all I want you to look at. How are you, Mr. Messer? This is what you brought. You made me think of this one time, and it never comes away. Just, you know, when you say something, there's always something intriguing in your work. Beautiful. There it is. There's your flag. Never thought you'd see 4 squares, eh? So I have 4 squares and 4 squares, but I have a center square. That center square, okay, is the diamond. You see the diamond straight up? That's the diamond there. Here's the square this way. See the angle? It's on an offset angle. Can I make my own paint? I don't know, probably. If I tried, I probably could. But I just want to finish doing my yellow wall. I put a little red in it the other day. I have to take it out. Just keep painting. Just keep painting. I think my walls are this thick of paint. So if you fall on the wall, you can just practically imprint yourself. That would be pretty cool. So I showed you those cards. Yeah, I have to put the camera back down and keep. So we have all these numbers here. So what we want to know is we're going to look at the cards. I'm going to look at the cards. Not going to take them all out. Okay, and let's grab this one too. So this ace, okay, in the cards is already installed in a card with, and I'm just going to use this card in this 9 card. So we don't need this ace. We don't need the ace, and in the deck, in the dice, sorry, in the dice. Where is my dice cube? I just had it. Got another one. In this dice cube, the 1 is apparent in the 5. So you get the 1 also through 6. The 1 enlightens 6 and apparent in the 5. So when you have a gear going this way and you have a gear going that way, they turn each other. One gear turns the other gear, and you go from 96 seconds over to 60 seconds. And 360 becomes your clock between the two. And like Lavette said, something to do with 16 and something to do with 15. 15 and 9 is the 24-hour day. 16 and 8 is the 24-hour day. These numbers can be found 3 times 5 and 7 plus 2. 3 plus 5 and 7 plus 2. This is an equation for pi. This is a different equation, spirit of 76. It connects pi to this, but it's something to do with the day and the night, whether we 16 hours a day, 8 hours a night, 15 hours a day, 9 hours a night. This can be reverted into 96 seconds to create a 16-hour day, 96 seconds to create a 15-hour day, or I think it's 90 seconds, an hour or a minute to create a 16-hour day. 90 seconds, 90 minutes, 16 hours. 15 hours, 96 minutes, 96 seconds. I don't remember the full equation, but it does work out. It also works out to connections all around the world. 9 times 6 connects Mars. 9 times 6, rotation, which all zeros equal 6. 9 by 6 is 54, and that's the sun. 9 plus 6 is 15, and that's your Mars. If you crisscross them, they recreate 15. And this becomes your DNA in the freedom of 76. 14 and 15, 1 and 4 is 5. You have 5, 5, 5, and all you really need is a triangle. I don't need the 6. So I'm going to throw out the 6. But the 9 lives of the cat expresses expressly. And also 5 to 9, E-I-E-I-O, is here in the planet house. 4 times 2, 4 plus 2 equals 6 and 8. They both pay the spirit of 76. One of them you do not need. You don't need the heaven because you're only living this. You're not living this. Or you're living one part in this. One of the two, I'm not really sure how I should look at together, but the 4 corners are exactly the same. The only link is between here and here, and these can be the moons that transfer in, and they transfer in only on this card over here. See, the 4 corners still match, and these two in the center will connect these two here and these two here. So when we're adding up these numbers that I was looking at, 10 through 90 or 0, 1 through 9. This is your first 9 numbers. This is your first whole 10 sections. Imagine each one of this is 450, and each one of this equals to 45. See the way the 0 moved over? 45.0. So since we don't need the 10, we don't need the 20, we're going to just put this on this. We don't need the 30, and we don't need the 40. This becomes 10, 100. We don't need it because it becomes a package of 10. The 5 and the 50, okay, this is where Mars comes in. We don't need this either. So it becomes its own package. So this would be your 55. This would be your 33 coming in. This would be your 44. But in this package over here, you do not need your, I'm just trying to calculate. Now it becomes 14. Sorry, just 1 second. Right, 10. It's all about this. So we get 10. The next one, when you add the 5, becomes 15. It becomes Mars. And then you add the 6, it becomes 21. It becomes you. It becomes the connection of 1 and 2 in numbers. And it all begins at 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 is a reflection of 4. 7 is a reflection of 3. 8 is a reflection of 2. 9 is a reflection of 1. Since 5 is inside 9, our division comes on our next level right over here, 55. Since we know 6 and 7, okay, 6 is in 7 equaling to 130 or 13. And 13 is inside 8. 8 and 13 equals to 21. Now we've matched the first 6 numbers into 21 on 8. 6, 7, and 8 equals to 21. 1 through 6 equals to 21. So our link is 5 and 6. That's my 11. Then we have number 8. So the other one we count is number 9 over here. 9 becomes alone. And 9 has 5 inside of it. So it has your freedom lock inside, and that's through Mars. You are free through Mars in your birth 9 to blackjack, some kind of plug-in. So we only need 88. We only need 99, and we're going to keep 22. These are the only ones we want. And we're keeping 22 because there is an above and there is a below the explanation in the deck of cards. So we keep 88, 99, 22. This becomes 7. This becomes 9. This becomes 4. You can also do it many other ways. 7 times 9, 63 times 4 equals to 252. I've seen that number before. 126, 63, 26.5, 132.5. No, anyways, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Yes. Oh my God. 1/100th of a minute, 1/100th of a second. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that also. Right. So when you get the 100 seconds of the clock or the 100 clock, you have 75 minutes or 75 parts of 100 through that hour. Absolutely. Raphael, I'm getting a little tired. I'm getting a little mixed up. It just gets so big that I can't keep up. I get a headache. I start to ramble and I don't want to. So I'd rather end the video, and thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Eli. And I'm not sure if I gave out a nice thanks to the help at PayPal. And like I said, hold on a second. If we can just help out those who really don't want to put up with certain things, if we can help them out monetarily and pay their rent and pay their food, how many servants are there out there? You ever hear of it? Civil, right? You ever get served in a restaurant? You were but in the olden days, when you were not in, what do you call it? Washed. See this word wash, laver? Laver. If you stay at home, how many people need to stay at home? How much money do we need to help our own people survive so they're not thwarting us into not what they don't believe, but what they need to do because not of they were coerced, because of what they believe, because of the obligation, because they need food on the table and they want to keep paying for their car. Are they thinking about buying more? Are you thinking about buying more and profiting in this situation? Or do you want to save your spirit of the liberty of 76? For everybody. Everybody tomorrow has to do the same thing to know the truth. To know the truth of what has polarized you. What makes you look behind you. That you can no longer move without thinking that what are you doing wrong? It seems like That's what I'm thinking. That's what I feel, that we're always being scrutinized for something we're doing wrong, stopped by another person who's just like you and me because they put on a suit. They put on a suit to a job and they swear into the job that they will abide by the rule and the law. Not just the rule, but the rule and the law. And you can't put a law in unless it's logical, and it has to be voted on by over 75, and there has to be reason for vote and answer logistics for balance of your choice. You can't just say yes or no. We need a balance of your choice. Answer these questions so we know what sanity your mind is in and who will write up these tests, so that we know when it's time to vote, we know what sanity we are and on what level is it really valued at. That we're not using any of these choices for our own personal needs, although it's always going to slide that way, because remember, your 76 will be nothing, will be a complete 86 if it doesn't start now, and that's waking up. And if you ask, what is waking up? What am I talking about? Words. You have to watch George Carlin. George Carlin mentions this word that is the big con. The big con. The big con, piracy. Piracy of one person's thoughts over another, where because one person is telling a story, it should be true. Where another person's telling a story, it shouldn't be true. This person's story was checked out, but this person's story wasn't checked out, but it was checked out. 500 people checked out this story, said it's true. 500 people checked out this story, said it's true. This story says to everybody, to their people, don't believe that story. In fact, I don't want you to believe them. We're going to throw them off. We won't even let them talk anymore. If you throw somebody off that you don't let talk anymore, there's something wrong. If they're not right, we will know they're not right, and we will not listen to them. But we want to know all the stories, right? When Little Red Riding Hood asks her mother if she can walk through the forest, her mother didn't say, yeah, go through the forest. It's dandy. Don't worry about the animals. They don't want you. That's not what her mother told her. She said, you want to go through that forest, my dear? You got to watch out for the wolf. You got that apple in the basket and other goodies for grandma. And remember, grandma has got big teeth. Grandma has a big nose. I remember, didn't you hear Little Red Riding Hood? And all the stories that we ever heard are telling us or recalibrating us on how we should think, so we would have a better judgment of the black and the white. When that skunk comes around, before it shoots, it really wants to know what direction before it makes a choice. But now, it was the rule of the universe for what the skunk did. It wasn't the rule that somebody changed and say, I'm a skunk. I'm not going to do it by the rule of the universe. I'm going to do it the way I want. But you signed the paper when you came here as a skunk. You signed the paper in black and white, dividing your back right down up to your tail, and we gave you a nice tail too. We let you stink the worst out of all animals. And you only get a squirt, so make it right and follow the universe. And sometimes it'll do it on your dog because it doesn't know. It's too confused. It doesn't know the difference. So if the skunk doesn't always know the difference, then how can somebody's rule of thumb, rule of thought, rule of logic, your own personal logic, and when you write down certain things, you have to believe in the law, but are you doing it because for this? Because we should be together with this big pot of money that can help these people that don't want to stand up for what's going on, for what they're pressured into doing. It'd be just beautiful to say, black and white, you don't want to go to work because you don't believe, you want to stay home? We're going to pay for this, stay home. Keep staying home if you don't believe, but we need to eat. And we got to go through this in a certain way that no matter what you do, oh, I don't want it to happen, I want to get, you fix it now, forever, or you've let it forever, let the skunk linger on. If we all walked outside with a smile on our face that everybody was able to see, If we were able to tell the truth, that people wouldn't be calling up, hey, black and white, we got somebody with a smile on his face. Well, we'll be down there in a minute. You're not allowed to smile. But if these people who couldn't come down and see us, and these people would say, wolf, 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 listen to all the stories. We want to hear, you want something fair? I want to show you all the stories. I want to tell you all the stories. All the stories. What do you want to believe? Raphael 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. That story is in yellow from a black and white because the skunk takes his jets. And when he sprays, whoosh, thank you for watching. Crazy idea. What crazy idea? Can you explain that? Thanks, thanks. Yes, I wanted to thank I can't see it. I wanted to thank John with laughter. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, John with laughter. I have to find where you are in the world, what your scrutinous name is. There's piracy out there, I tell you. There's piracy out there. Can I find it? Let me just look it up. All right, just give me a second now. Google's gonna know. Obit, Cleveland, Ohio. No, is that you? No, no. This guy was born in 19. Okay, thanks for watching this video. The money distribution, yes, absolutely, absolutely. But who can you trust? You can go to any one of these places. You can go to the Diabetes Foundation. You can go to the Red Cross. Doesn't matter where you go. All these square bins that they put out there, how much money really goes in your pocket? Who can you trust? Who can you trust? And if it was a lifetime deal, right? How much does the boss really need, or the owner of this thing really need in his pocket? That if he saves the world, that he doesn't deserve a little bit for himself, to make sure that once we don't need this anymore and it moves on, that they can't survive. So they pick out from this pocket, and they call that the governors, the governing system. So they're always saying, hey, if we're going to help out the world, we need a little extra piece, because what else are we going to do after this is over? And that shouldn't happen. There's only so much everybody should have, and that's the best food in the world. This is your survival. The best food in your world, security because you helped others. You need proper lodging, that you can have somebody take care of you. And that's probably about 40, 50 grand. And that's what people need for their retirement, you know? So should we all be getting it? Where does it all come from? We got to keep printing it. Anyways, yes, we need to pull, just keep the, you know, we don't want the skunks on the street anymore. Keep them at home if they don't believe in this. Forget about who's going to protect you. Because you can protect yourself. Go to the pharmacy. You can pick up anything you want. You can protect yourself tonight, not to get busted up from the inside out, where the child would come out. But I'm talking about the black and white style, meaning if there's less protection on the street, we all protect ourselves, we wouldn't have to worry about those protecting us. But look at this. I'm going to turn this whole thing around. I watch a bunch of movies, and I'm considered a white folk, and the black folk in New York and all over a lot of places in the world over the last thousands of years have been harassed, or hundreds of years, whatever it is. They've been always looked at, hey, boy, you looking at me, you're a slave. Although the white people have probably been slaves, and we've all been slaves in one way or another. We just don't see it. But all these things of, what do you call it, racism and everything that's going on is only caused by larger corps rather than a few people. It has nothing to do with the general public. You know, the color discrepancy between people is really nothing to do with the general public, other than people moving from one country to the other country, not teaching the proper ethics between the countries, the way people think, and certain logics are different. So that causes the discrepancy. and people are being mistreated for certain reasons by just a certain faction, and it's not all the people. So, and when they go on to rent, you just control. You from control, you create the chaos to keep control. That's it. Thanks. Thanks for watching.